Last year, I spent probably 3 weeks straight going down the Harbor Freight rabbit hole. Forum threads, recall databases, independent torque tests, even a lawsuit where Snap-on tried to sue Harbor Freight for copying their floor jack. And what I found completely changed how I think about this store, because Harbor Freight has a secret hiding in plain sight. There are actually two completely different stores sharing the same building. One of them sells tools that independent testers have proven match or beat Snap-on, DeWalt, and Milwaukee. The other sells tools that have been recalled by the literal millions for falling apart, overheating, or, in the case of their jack stands, potentially crushing someone underneath a car. The difference between those two stores? A brand name printed on the box that you've probably never thought twice about. And that's what this video is actually about. Not Harbor Freight good or Harbor Freight bad. It's the specific data that shows you which tools to grab and which ones to walk right past. Let's start with the stuff that wastes your money, because I think this is actually more useful than a best of list. Harbor Freight operates roughly 78 different house brand names, and their bottom tier, the Chicago Electric and Drill Master and Warrior lines, is where the horror stories come from. The Chicago Electric Variable Speed Hammer Drill, item number 68169, costs about $35. Sounds like a deal. But on Garage Journal, one of the biggest tool forums on the internet, a user reported it lasted exactly 90 seconds. He pulled the trigger, smelled smoke, and that was the end of his $35 drill. I'd honestly rather duct tape 2 sticks together. At least the sticks won't catch fire. The Chicago Electric. Oscillating multi-tool is even more embarrassing. Pro Tool Reviews ran a head-to-head shootout against every major brand. The Chicago Electric finished dead last with an average plunge cut time of 46.8 seconds. The winner finished in under 6 seconds. Same test, same material, nearly 40 seconds slower. And it produced 102 decibels at ear level while doing it. So it's the slowest tool in the test. And it's trying to damage your hearing. Incredible value. But here's the thing that surprised me most during my research. The single worst category at Harbor Freight isn't power tools, it's consumables. Sandpaper, drill bits, saw blades, cut-off wheels, electrical tape. Every single forum community I checked, from Reddit to Garage Journal to Hobby Machinist, agreed on this one point with unusual unanimity. Harbor Freight consumables are almost universally terrible. Their sandpaper doesn't bond properly. It leaves black residue on wood and falls apart on contact. Their Warrior drill bits are so soft, they dull the first time you use them. Their cutoff wheels have been reported to shatter during use, which is a genuine safety hazard when a disc spinning at 10,000 revolutions per minute disintegrates next to your face. I personally think this is the most underrated part of the whole Harbor Freight conversation. Everyone argues about whether their drills are any good. Nobody talks about the fact that their sandpaper is essentially decorative. I actually bought a pack of their 220 grit sheets last summer for a deck refinishing project, and I burned through the entire pack on about 4 square feet of cedar. The grit was literally peeling off in sheets. I drove to Home Depot, bought a pack of 3M sandpaper for $3 more, and finished the entire deck with half the pack. That $3 difference in sandpaper cost me 2 hours of my weekend. Lesson learned. And the safety record goes beyond consumables. This is where the data gets genuinely unsettling. In 2020, Harbor Freight recalled over 1.7 million Pittsburgh jack stands across 3 separate waves. The 6-ton model had powels that could disengage, which means the stand could collapse while you're underneath your car. The 3-ton model had inconsistently machined ratchet teeth. And then, and I still can't believe this part, the replacement jack stands they sent out had to be recalled again for welding defects. The CEO, Eric Schmidt, publicly said he was disappointed and embarrassed, which, yeah, that tracks. I've read through a lot of product recall reports, and this one stands out because it wasn't just one bad batch. It was a systemic quality control failure across 3 separate production runs. The manufacturer, Jiaxing Gold and Rock Tools in China, blamed aging production tooling, which means they knew the equipment was wearing out and kept running it anyway. Beyond the jack stands, Harbor Freight recalled over 1 million electric chainsaws because the power switch could fail to turn off. 15 incidents, 3 lacerations, 1 requiring stitches. A class action alleged Harbor Freight knew about the defect since 2014. They recalled 1.1 million folding knives for locking mechanisms that would fail and close on your fingers. They got hit with a $1 million civil penalty from the Department of Transportation for dragging their feet on recalling over 800,000 defective trailer light kits. I spent 3 hours just reading through the CPSC database. It was not a fun evening. So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, Harbor Freight is just cheap junk with good marketing. And a year ago, I would have agreed with you. But then I found the test data, and it broke my brain a little bit. The Earthquake XT composite air impact wrench at Harbor Freight sells for about $160. Snap-on's MG725 sells for roughly $1,000. Real Tool Reviews ran them head-to-head. The Earthquake XT produced 869 foot-pounds of forward-working torque. The Snap-on produced 860. The Harbor Freight tool actually outperformed the Snap-on by 9 foot-pounds, at 1/6 the price. That's not a typo. 1/6 the price, marginally more torque. The Daytona 3-ton floor jack is the one Snap-on actually sued over. Both jacks feature dual piston pumps and magnetic oil reservoirs. The Daytona lifts to 23 inches, the Snap-on to 23.4 inches. Project Farm tested them side by side, and the Daytona finished second, only to the Snap-on across all jacks tested. Except the Daytona costs about $200, and the Snap-on costs between $800 and $900. Snap-on lost that lawsuit, by the way, and I think that tells you everything. Now here's the one that genuinely shocked me. The Atlas 80-volt leaf blower at Harbor Freight costs about $75. Project Farm, who has almost 4 million subscribers and is probably the most trusted tool tester on YouTube, found that this $75 blower beat both the DeWalt 20-volt and the DeWalt 60-volt blowers in every single power test. Airspeed, cubic feet per minute, real-world leaf removal. The DeWalt 60-volt costs around $360. A $75 Harbor Freight blower outperformed a $360 DeWalt. I still have a hard time wrapping my head around that one. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I do deep dives like this on tools and DIY every week, and I promise I will never waste your time with sponsored fluff. So how does Harbor Freight simultaneously sell tools that beat Snap-on and tools that catch fire in under 2 minutes? The answer is a brand tier system that the store itself barely explains. Walk into any Harbor Freight location and you'll see price tags and brand names, but nowhere on the shelving, nowhere on the signage does it tell you that Icon is their professional tier and Chicago Electric is their disposable tier. You have to figure that out yourself. And if you don't, you're essentially shopping blind in an $8 billion store. Harbor Freight runs a strict good, better, best hierarchy across their 78 house brand names. At the top sits Icon, their professional line. Icon hand tools are manufactured in Taiwan, not China, from chrome vanadium and chrome molybdenum steel. They carry lifetime warranties. Torca Test Channel ran Icon socket adapters in a torture test until they broke. The Icon adapter failed at 254 foot-pounds. The Snap-on adapter failed at 195 foot-pounds. The Harbor Freight tool was literally 30% stronger than the Snap-on. An Icon SAE combination wrench set runs about $120. The equivalent Snap-on set runs over $1,000. That's an 89% savings for a tool that tested stronger. Sitting right below Icon is Hercules, their DeWalt competitor. Hercules tools now come with brushless motors, 5-year warranties, and glass-filled nylon housings. Consumer Reports named the Hercules cordless drill best battery life in their testing. Their 12-inch sliding miter saw carries a 4.9 star rating from over 3,500 reviews and costs $350 versus the comparable DeWalt at $500 to $650. Then there's Bauer, which competes with Ryobi. A Bauer brushless drill at about $60 produces 405 inch-pounds of torque versus Ryobi's 400 inch-pounds at $99. Nearly identical specs, 40% cheaper. But Bauer comes with a critical weakness. Its warranty is only 90 days versus Ryobi's 3 years. And Bauer's tool ecosystem of around 65 tools is dwarfed by Ryobi's 250-plus offerings. I personally wouldn't build my whole workshop around Bauer for that reason, but for a tool you'll use twice a year, it's hard to argue with $60. And then at the bottom, You have Pittsburgh Basic, Chicago Electric, Drill Master, and Warrior. This is the stuff that gives Harbor Freight its bad reputation. It uses inferior steel, cheap motors, and minimal quality control. One machinist forum member actually ran XRF analysis on Pittsburgh hand tools and found the steel was poorly controlled cold-rolled material that could be hardened but was shipped without adequate heat treatment from the factory, which means the steel itself isn't necessarily bad. The factory just didn't finish the job. And this is where the real waste happens. A DIYer walks into Harbor Freight, sees a $30 Pittsburgh wrench set and a $120 Icon wrench set, grabs the $30 one because it's Harbor Freight. It's all the same, right? The Pittsburgh set bends on the third use. They post online about how Harbor Freight is garbage, and they never discover that the Icon set right next to it on the shelf literally tests stronger than Snap-on. So here's the framework that I wish someone had given me before I wasted money on my first Harbor Freight mistake. Buy Icon and Hercules with confidence. These product lines have been independently tested against tools costing 2 to 10 times more, and they hold up. Buy Bauer and Pittsburgh Pro for light-duty weekend projects where a 90-day warranty isn't a deal breaker. Never buy consumables at Harbor Freight. That means sandpaper, drill bits, saw blades, cut-off wheels, and electrical tape. Just don't do it. Go to Home Depot or order online instead. And never trust your safety to the cheapest tier. The 1.7 million recalled jack stands prove this isn't a theoretical concern. If a tool holds weight above your body or spins at high RPM near your hands, spend up for the premium tier or buy from a different store entirely. The real story of Harbor Freight isn't that it's cheap. The real story is that a $120 wrench set and a $12 wrench set can sit on the same shelf in the same store, and one of them outperforms a $1,000 Snap-on while the other bends like a wet noodle. The data is clear. The question is just whether you know which one to grab. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.